once you get logged into the Blackboard page, I'd like to just give you a little bit of a tour. So you're taken to the announcements page, and typically what I'll do is I will definitely at minimum post once a week here. I will also post as due dates are approaching, or if I notice that students are struggling with something in particular. So please make sure that you check the announcements and read them carefully for necessary information. The first announcement that will greet you is this enrollment verification assignment reminder. You have to complete this enrollment verification assignment, or EVA, by the stated due date, otherwise you will no longer be enrolled in the course. So you have to take care of that first off. In order to access that assignment, you'll go to the Start Here section. So the Start Here link is going to take you to the enrollment verification assignment. So you'll click that link, and it's just a very short set of a few questions that you need to answer. You'll submit that, and once you submit it successfully, it will appear in your grades as verified. So please make sure that you're checking after you submit your EVA, check your grades to make sure that it is in fact in there and that you have credit for it. So once you've clicked on that, you can also access the syllable from the Start Here section. And the syllabus gives you just a lot of detailed information about the course and an overview of expectations. At this point, the only thing I really need to draw your attention to in the syllabus is my late work policy. The late work policy is a 10% deduction for each day that you submit an activity late. So I'll take 10 points off of late work for each day late. So again, please meet your deadlines so that you're not losing those important points and knocking down your grade unnecessarily. So going back to the announcements page, I've also given you a reminder below to access for options for accessing the course content and your e-textbook. So until you've completed the EVA, you will not have access to your first unit of study in the course content. So let me show you what that looks like. Course content will take us to the main course content page, and you'll have a list of student learning outcomes. And then you'll also have access to this link, which will take you to the Cengage eText, and this is where you need to set up an account so that you can have access to the textbook. So once you set up that account, if you're a new user, you'll have access to all the chapters that are linked in the course content. There are a total of 4 units for this course, and the first unit will open up once your EVA assignment is successfully completed. So if you don't see Unit 1, that means that you need to go back and make sure you've actually completed the EVA assignment. So Unit 1, the structure for all the folders is the same throughout, so I'm going to give you an overview of what you're going to be learning or what we're going to be working on within the units. And the units are broken down into modules. So the first unit has 2 modules. You can see Module 1 and Module 2, and I've also listed the assignments within those modules. I've also given you a set of deadlines for each unit. So within the unit, all of the components need to be completed, the first unit obviously by May 26th. Now, each of the assignments within the module, you're just going to have to be very independent and make sure that you're working within those modules and not waiting until the last minute, more importantly, so you can successfully meet the deadline that's listed within the unit folder. So if we're clicking into Unit 1, it's going to take us to folders for each of the separate modules, and I definitely suggest that you guys look at each of the modules first so that you can, again, get a sense of what you're supposed to be doing within each module and that you can pace yourself accordingly. So once you get to the module, click into the module, you have a module introduction, which is explaining your goals for the module, and then you have a set of objectives, and then how each of the reading assignments and assessments meets those objectives. You will also have access to the reading assignments folder, so all of the reading assignments, each chapter will be linked within this assignment folder. So for the first unit, Module 1, you've got 1 chapter to read, And I've even gone so far as to break down the chapter by sections to tell you which sections to focus on. You don't have to read the entire book cover to cover. In fact, within the short amount of time we have for the summer course, it's really not practical. So I'm trying to focus your reading to pay attention to just the things that are really important and that will help you to succeed within each of the units. So you'll click on chapter 1, and that will open up in a separate browser, and then you guys will have access to the book. So in a separate video, I will show you guys how to access the textbook and how to navigate that a little bit better. So clicking back into Module 1, so after you have your reading assignment folder, then you're going to follow that up with any of the activities and assignments that I've outlined for you guys. So the first assignment for me is this letter to the instructor. And I'm asking you to write a letter answering these questions below so that I can get a sense of your goals for your career and for your education. So once you've typed that up, you can email me at barbara.solomon@rccc.edu. And again, please make sure that you're emailing me that information. So after that, if you're having trouble, I've given you guys a link to as far as how to attach any file in an email. I think this gives you a good overview of how to do that. So please let me know if technology is something that is a challenge to you. Let me know that on the front end, because I understand technological problems happen, but if you leave yourself enough time on the front end, you can avoid, turning things in late because you've experienced a tech problem. Once you've emailed me your letter, then the second assignment within the module is for you to click on this link for the discussion board. So whenever you see this little icon, this symbolizes a discussion board. And I'm asking you to introduce yourself to your peers. So just take this assignment as a way to introduce yourself to classmates. And I know that online, because we never really meet face-to-face, it's kind of hard to create that sense of community that you can have in a classroom. But here's one way that we're going to attempt to facilitate that. So you'll click into this link in order to have access to the forum. So the forum, you'll go ahead and create a thread, and then you will write your name, and then you'll answer the questions that are listed right there, and then you'll click to submit your activity. And I'll cancel out of that since I already submitted one forum link. But once you've successfully submitted your discussion board thread, this will appear, and I'm asking you guys to respond to 3 other peers within the class. So just choose a few other people in order to respond to, and try and create a conversation. So once you've done that, again, make sure that you don't wait until the last minute to do this, because if everybody waits until the last minute, then everyone is going to have to wait until the last minute to respond to one another. So I don't want you to have to do that. So try and take care of this early on in the week. All right, clicking back into course content, and we'll go back into Unit 1. Module 2 is where we start, sort of the heavy lifting of the course. So this literacy narrative is going to be your very first major writing assignment for me. And you'll see that there is, within the reading assignments folder, you have to read chapter 10, and I'm going to focus your attention on sections 10.1 to 10.2. And please read at least one sample personal essay from section 10.3, because that will give you a sense of what your narrative is supposed to look like or sound like and feel like. So the assignment, though, is right here. So the literacy narrative assignment, please make sure that you read this in detail. Take the time to read through that. And it is an MLA style format paper. So please make sure that you guys are using the correct formatting, and also take a look at the example literacy narrative. So you can click on the attachment right here. So you'll click nichols.pdf that will open up an example literacy narrative. And please keep in mind, the examples within each of these modules are not necessarily complete. So it may not, meet the minimum length requirements. The examples are there just to kind of get you a start in understanding what your your paper's supposed to look like and what it should sound like. But again, and how it should be formatted. But again, it's not necessarily a completed work that would receive an A, for instance. So again, you need to make sure that when you're looking at your assignments, if we click on the Literacy Narrative Assignment link, this is where you'll go to also submit your paper. So within the assignment link, it will give you the instructions for the assignment, and then you can also view the rubric. So if a rubric is attached to the assignment, the rubric is exactly how I'm going to grade you on your assignment. So you can go ahead and look at what will provide you with an awesome job or provide me with an awesome job, and this will show you, kind of how I'm going to grade your work. So please make sure that you guys are checking all of those things before you submit so you can make sure that you meet, all of the expectations. So I'm going to cancel out of that, and that is all that there is for the first unit. So once we're clicking back into the announcements page, again, please remember, check the announcements page weekly at minimum and get started early on all of your assignments so that you're not rushing in the end to complete activities. I wish you well, and again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me through email. If I didn't explain anything completely, let me know that, and I can create another video later on for you guys for other parts of Blackboard that may be giving you trouble.